Today, we're diving into a huge comeback story in the world of sportswear. We're looking at ASICS, a brand that's been around for 76 years, and somehow they're not just running, they're sprinting back into the spotlight.
So, if you've been to a marathon lately, you might have felt a little déjà vu. You know, like you're seeing a ghost from the 90s? Yeah, I'm talking about those classic ASICS stripes. They are everywhere at the finish line. And trust me, it's not just your imagination. And look, this isn't just a vibe, it's a real measurable thing. They call it the on-foot rate, basically how many runners are actually wearing the shoes. And for ASICS, it's been skyrocketing. They're not just back in the race, they're genuinely challenging for the top spot. So, what's going on? What's the secret sauce here? Okay, so to really get what's happening now, we have to go back just a few years. Because not that long ago, this legacy brand was, well, they were seriously losing their footing.
So, ASICS started way back in 1949, right? A huge legacy of Japanese craftsmanship. But fast forward to 2018, and they were kind of adrift. It's a classic story, really. A brand that had lost its way, lost its identity. And that's when a new CEO, Yasuhito Hirota, stepped in with one clear mission: get the ship turned around.
The biggest problem? Dilution. Plain and simple. They were spreading themselves way too thin. Think about it. They were making swimsuits, backpacks, you name it. And you know what they say? When you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing special to anyone. Their resources were a mess, and that core identity was just fading away.
All right, so how did the new leadership fix this? With a pretty radical solution. To solve the problem of doing way too much, they decided to do less, but to do it way, way better. They literally called it the Subtraction strategy. Super simple, but incredibly bold. Step 1, cut. Anything that wasn't a shoe, gone. Step 2, focus. All that money, all that talent, all that time was poured back into one thing: footwear. And step 3, amplify. They doubled down on what made them unique in the first place. The bottom line here is, they chose to become masters of one craft again.
And that focus leads us right to their secret weapon. Or, well, maybe not so secret weapon. It's a technology that's been at the very heart of the brand for decades.
Okay, so the soul of any great running shoe is what's in the middle, the midsole. And for ASICS, that sole is called gel. It's this unique silicone stuff that's designed to do one thing, and one thing only: absorb shock better than pretty much anything else out there.
And check this out. This is the legendary experiment that shows just how powerful gel is. You can take a raw egg, drop it from over 6 meters, that's almost 20 feet high, onto just a thin pad of this stuff, and it doesn't break. It just lands completely intact. I mean, that's the kind of shock absorption we're talking about. It's wild.
And this really shows you how different their approach is. You know, Nike has always been about their lightweight air technology. Adidas is all about that springy, high-energy return boost foam. But ASICS, they carved out their own space. They became the undisputed kings of absorbing impact. And if you're a long-distance runner, or really anyone who spends all day on their feet, you know how crucial that is.
But they didn't just rest on their laurels. They kept pushing it and created something called Pure Gel. Now, it's hidden inside the shoe, which makes it lighter, more springy, and lets them create those clean, modern designs that everyone wants right now.
So this intense focus on what they do best, it couldn't have happened at a better time. Because right then, the whole sportswear market was basically in the middle of a huge earthquake.
So while ASICS was nailing this turnaround, the biggest giant of them all, Nike, was actually stumbling. They made a wrong turn with their e-commerce strategy, and their revenue and profits took a major hit. And get this, in that same period, ASICS, a company that's 9 times smaller, saw its revenue jump by 20% and profits explode by over 50%. Just incredible.
And it wasn't just ASICS shaking things up. The market was screaming for something new. Hoka just explodes onto the scene. While everyone else was going minimalist, they went maximalist, with these huge ultra-cushioned soles. Yeah, people called them ugly shoes at first, but their comfort was undeniable, especially for long-distance runners. They found a niche, served it perfectly, and built a massive cult following.
And then there's On Running. This Swiss brand, with Roger Federer backing them, just captured everyone's attention. They did something brilliant. They merged performance and style perfectly. You had this unique cloud tech that actually worked, but the shoes also just looked cool. They proved a running shoe could be a legit fashion statement.
So, what's the big takeaway here? When you look at ASICS's amazing comeback and the rise of these other brands like Hoka and On, it all points to one really powerful idea.
A big lesson, really.
What all this success shows is that there are these huge, untapped markets out there, what some people call blue oceans. These are spots where the big giants aren't really playing. Think about it. What about all-black, waterproof work shoes that actually have good arch support? Or shoes designed for a specific trend like super slow jogging? Or the Holy Grail, a shoe that has all the performance tech but looks good enough to wear to the office? These are massive opportunities the big guys just overlook.
And that really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? In a world dominated by giants, maybe the real superpower isn't about being the biggest. Maybe it's about razor-sharp focus. Perhaps the secret to outrunning everyone else isn't to be bigger, but to just be better at being exactly who you are.